What's up, fungal associates? Welcome to Completely Arbortrary. It's the podcast about trees and other related topics. I am Alex Crowson. I'm one of your hosts. And of course, our other host catching a microphone mid-drop.
Oopsies.
He tried to mic drop before he even said anything.
I did, which honestly, killer move.
That is pretty cool.
Walk out on stage, look around, drop the mic, walk off stage. People are like, that guy's cool.
Casey Clapp, Mr. Cool Guy. Hi, Casey.
Hi, Alex.
Hi, Casey. We've got something great to share, or reshare, I guess.
Yes, we do.
If you're listening to this on the day it comes out,
Okay.
that would be a Thursday.
Yeah.
The 2nd. Tomorrow is Friday, the 3rd. And that evening at 7 p.m., Casey and I will be at Powell's Bookstore in Portland.
That's right. Tomorrow evening, for those of you keeping track. And guess what? Yesterday, my book was officially released to the world.
Wednesday,
the 1st of October.
How fun.
Yeah, it's amazing. People are getting their books right now. So if you ordered it,
if
you pre-ordered it, it's on the way to you. And take a picture of it, hold it in your hot little hand, and then send it to me or tag me on Instagram or something, and I will repost it.
Yeah, and so tomorrow, October 3rd, 2025, Casey and I will be at Powell's Bookstore. Just walk in and say, hey, I'm looking for the podcasters, the tree thing.
Yeah.
And they will probably know what you're talking about.
They're going to know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. And they are also probably going to be like, oh my God, get in line because it's going to be out the door.
I know, around the block. Like Britney Spears concert, 1995.
It's going to be exactly like a Britney Spears concert in 1995.
I don't even know if that was.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Well, Casey, plant-based diet, just desserts, is over. I've got a bellyache.
Yeah.
And,
I had to go home and sit in like a food coma for a little bit.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Yeah.
4 desserts in a row. And we have a brand new tree to talk about today, the Rocky Mountain bristlecone pine. We've talked about the Great Basin bristlecone pine before.
That's right.
And now we are talking about its slightly northern cousin.
Let's just go eastern cousin.
Slightly eastern cousin.
Appreciate this.
I guess I meant north topographically. Up is north, because it's in the Rocky Mountains.
It's true. It is technically
we don't
in the
need
Rocky
to get.
Mountains.
Listen.
No. Let's dive into this.
If I'm just
Alex.
vamping, I don't need to fact check my vamps.
What? This is okay. First off, yes, we do. Second off, you're vamping. This is our podcast. Have you just been vamping every single podcast for the last 5 years?
Vamping is short for vampire.
All right, that's fair because this is spooky season, Alex.
That's right.
Don't you forget it.
And let's start with a really spooky tree.
Yes.
One more thing, Casey, before we go.
Yes. Oh, yes. Oh my God.
Okay.
Alex, this is huge.
We are having of the 5 years we've been doing this podcast,
been a long time.
Biggest merch sale we've ever done.
This is actually the biggest merch drop we've ever done.
For the month of October, everybody.
The whole month. The spooky month.
You can get 30% off our entire merch store. Let me repeat that.
Wow.
30% off every damn thing in our merch store.
That's all the t-shirts. That's all the stickers. That's all the patches. That is, I believe I have one more hat.
Okay, go get it for 30% off.
That's right. Go get it. Now,
we don't mind losing money on that.
No. We're not.
We lost money on the full priced ones.
No, we didn't. All right. So here's the thing.
What?
There's another thing that I want to tell everyone.
Oh, wow.
Alex and I have been talking about this for a long time.
Yeah.
We are releasing all of our old Cone of the Month cone stickers on our natural store, except for the most recent year's worth of cones.
So the last 12 cones will remain exclusive to Treemium members.
Exactly. We will have always a new cone sent directly to those Treemium members, but the facts are the facts, Alex. We got a lot of cones.
We do have a lot of cones.
We got a lot of cones.
Stickers.
And you know what? We're going to sell them to you.
That's right. And you can get them for 30% off.
You can get them for 30% off.
Starting with this brand new big sale, this blowout sale.
It's a blowout.
It's a blowout, everybody.
This is like when you go to meet your partner's family and they didn't know you're a vegetarian and you eat meat for the first time in 10 years.
Oh, you're heaven.
It's a blowout.
So use coupon code BLOWOUT, that's BLOWOUT, to get 30% off our entire fucking store. It's crazy.
Yes. Okay, you guys, I'm so excited. I'm nervous. I want to send everyone stickers. You go to the store, look them up. We have, I think it's going to be about 40 different stickers. In fact, I'll guarantee we're going to have 40 stickers out there.
Yeah.
If you are looking for some gifts, now's the time.
30% off. Coupon code BLOWOUT, arbortrarypod.com/merch. And with that, we present to you the Rocky Mountain Bristlecone Pine, but we got to do so after a quick break. We'll be right back with Completely Arbortrary. Welcome back.
That was ghostly.
To Completely Arbortrary. Today we're talking Rocky Mountain Bristlecone Pine. I have to pause before I say it every time because it's a lot.
You can also call it the Colorado Bristlecone Pine.
That's better.
Yeah, that drops it by at least one word.
Well, Casey, let's imagine, as we do every episode, that you and I are in the Rocky Mountains listening to John Denver, and we come across some brilliant, beautiful Colorado Bristlecone pines. I even have to pause for that one. Let's ID this tree.
Let's ID it. All right. So a lot of you are probably thinking to yourself, Bristlecone pine, how many are there? This is the second of 3 bristlecone pine species. Now, a lot of people, specifically, if you go to the Oregon State description of it in their landscape plans, they say this is one of 2. And the reason they do that is because there's one that we call the foxtail pine. That grows only in California, really northern California, and down in like the southern Sierras by the giant sequoias. And so that one is Pinus balfouriana. That one is also one of 3 trees that are in this little tiny subgroup called the bristlecone pines.
Oh.
Just so happens we call it the foxtail pine.
Okay.
So
if you could come up with a bristlecone pine name for it, what would you choose?
I would probably say California bristlecone pine.
Okay.
Yeah, because it only grows in California. Now the Great Basin or the Intermountain bristlecone pine, the oldest one we've talked about before, that one also grows in California, just along the border of Nevada and the Inyo National Forest, White Mountains. But for the most part, it is like Nevada, Utah, and then this one is Colorado and a tiny little grove in Arizona, and then the other one is only in California.
Where does what mountains do foxtail grow on? You said
it grows in the Southern Sierra by the sequoias down in southern Sierra Nevada down there.
I think it should be the Sierra Nevada bristlecone pine.
Well, to go
with the geographical nature of the other names.
I see.
Great Basin, Rocky Mountains, Sierra Nevada.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, so the other one, it does have a little tiny grove up in the Siskiyous. So like near Mount Shasta, which is technically the Cascades.
We'll consider that an annex.
Okay. All right. Yeah. We're not going to do
one tiny grove.
Yeah, and the other one in Arizona of our Colorado, we're not going to.
No.
That is a outlier. So just in case you couldn't keep track of our geological names.
Yeah.
We also have scientific names for all these trees. This is Pinus aristata, which I always thought was a reference to like Aristotle, wise and old kind of thing.
I thought aristocrat, like
yeah, that could be also. But this, according to some people, it means like corn, as in like an ear of corn.
Okay.
Where it's reference to the cones having like little bits, the bristles that come off the cone.
Little tendrily things.
Yes, which I'm like,
that's a reach, I think.
It feels like a reach to me.
That's weird.
But I've also heard that aristata just means bristle. So that makes sense to me. Where the ear of corn comes from, I have no idea what that means.
Listen, Royal Society, if that is your real name, this ain't no bristle corn pine, okay?
Thank you, Alex. God. I'm so happy that you said that.
Casey, let's ID this tree.
All right, so Pinus aristata, the Rocky Mountain or Colorado bristlecone pine, is one of those 3 famous bristlecone pines. They grow at some of the highest elevation points in the West. So from about 7,500 feet all the way up to about 12,000 feet.
Damn.
Isn't that insane?
That's a lot.
To put this in context, just as I did with the other bristlecone that we talked about, the one in the Great Basin, those trees grow at the height. They start growing at what is the peak of the tallest mountain in Oregon.
That's a high-ass tree.
Yeah. It's just a wild kind of habitat because it is so barren. They usually don't have a whole lot of soil. It's very rocky. A lot of water comes through. They're blasted by wind all the time. They're blasted by ice. They have really short growing seasons. Sometimes they don't even put on a tree ring. Everything is so short and intense.
Wow, no kidding.
So that's where they're growing.
They might just skip a year because they're like, I just can't.
Yeah, it's just too cold. They didn't get enough, they don't have enough water. They don't have enough nutrients, all that kind of stuff.
That's wild.
So when you're up at these elevations, start looking for these trees, obviously. But the other thing that you're going to be looking for is a 5-needle pine that has really tightly held together needles.
Yeah.
The form of the tree we'll talk about in a second, but I want to just really focus in on the needles here because the needles, I think, are some of the most interesting aspects to this.
They don't look very pine-like.
They really don't, right?
They look more like I don't know, hemlock needles or something.
Yeah,
or spruce needles.
Just some other kind of single needle.
Yeah.
And that to me is because they generally are held so tightly closed together that even though there are technically 5 of them, there are 5 needles that are nested together that appear, for all intents and purposes, as one needle.
Interesting.
So they're very densely packed along the stems, and it's so dense that it looks to me like the entire tree is wearing a sweater. That's how I've described
Cute.
it. If you ever see one, because this is also the only species that is planted horticulturally. So you can find it here in Portland. You can find it up in Alaska. You can find it growing all over the place as a horticulturally planted specimen.
Oh, the only bristlecone pine species?
Exactly.
Interesting.
The foxtail pine, the Intermountain, does not get planted as a landscape tree.
Cool.
So if you see a really tightly packed, densely covered, sweater-wearing pine tree, it's going to be this tree.
Interesting.
So the needles are kind of short compared to the rest of the needles that you'd ever see in your entire life, but they are only about, I don't know, maybe 4 inches at the absolute max.
It's bigger than I was having a hard time with these photos, like the scale of things.
Yeah, totally.
It's longer than I was expecting.
They are just a little bit longer and a little bit pokier than other species. But still, they are 4 inches would be the max you'll ever see. Generally speaking, they're going to be 2 to 3 inches. That's where you're going to find the meat of the average there.
I've got a good visual comparison for these needles.
Ooh, please.
So everybody take your hand, your dominant hand, and mimic as if you are trying to get the last Pringles out of the can. And then freeze your hand and look at it, and it's like 5 prongs.
Totally.
And they're close together.
Alex, that is
looks
literally
just like
perfect.
that.
That's
Yeah.
literally perfect. So the other thing about these needles is that they have a resin gland in them that puts out a little teeny tiny dot of resin on the needles.
Interesting.
So if you go give a Google and look up the Oregon State Landscape Plants website, or actually, you know what? Google The Trees Around You by Casey Clapp.
There you go.
And then look up this tree. You will find that there's a beautiful photo by me that has a very up-close version of these leaves. And each one has this little white resin dot, this little speck that is on each individual leaf. And that is very characteristic of this species in particular.
They're not uniform, these dots. They're like little white scabs or something.
You know what it looks like to me? You get a wreath or something during Christmas time, during the holidays, and someone like goes psst, and like sprays a really kind of chalky white.
Oh, sure.
They want to make it look like there's some hoarfrost on it or something.
Yes, yeah.
That's what it looks like. It looks like it was fake painted to look like it was in a snowy scene.
Yes, that canned snow.
Yes, that is exactly what it looks like to me.
Yeah, true.
So now that you got this visual, take a step back from the needles and look at the whole tree. There's going to be 2 different versions that you're going to see. One is the version that you're going to find in the parking lot in Anchorage, Alaska. Really tough tree. It's going to look like a big kind of stringy looking, densely leafed, shrubby thing. Not quite a tree, not quite a shrub.
Okay.
It's going to be big enough, but not like clearly, obviously, like pruned into, oh, that looks like a pine tree. It looks like this big, lumpy mass of branches growing out in all different directions.
Very much a single stem only.
Not really. Like
Really?
It would, but it doesn't. Like
Okay.
that is like this. That's this one horticultural version that you're going to find.
Okay.
It really is like a scraggly looking, scraggly dude. Move into the wild forests though, and it's a different thing entirely.
This is people's whole thing with what is it? northern white pine or the
yeah, okay, the arborvitae.
Arborvitae.
Yeah.
We're like, we hate these trees, and they're like, you gotta see them in the wild.
You gotta see them in the wild. That's exactly right. Over here, the cultivars, they're very tightly columnar. They're very these tiny little things. They're like a bunch of lined up soldiers just standing in a row. Versus the wild ones, you're exactly right.
Yeah.
They're way more charismatic in terms of their form. They're bigger. They look more like trees, and they get like dead tops and twisted sides and things.
Totally. So in the wild, these Colorado bristlecones are going to be more monolithic.
They're going to be a little bit more tree-like.
That's
exactly.
cool.
They'll
Good for
have
them.
when they're young, especially, they'll have a central leader. It'll have this nice canopy that comes out, and it'll look like a normal tree for all intents and purposes. It's like, oh, well, there's a little pine tree growing.
What do you mean by normal?
Oh, that's a great question. Single stem, X-current growth habit.
There you go.
Thank you, Alex.
Nice.
I really appreciate you calling me out on that. You know what? I appreciate you calling me in.
Oh, is that a thing? That's got to be a thing.
That's a thing. That's a thing.
I'm going to call you out. I'm calling you in.
Yeah. Well, it's a means to, instead of like pushing you out,
Sure.
you're the bad one. Yeah, you bring
I'm
him in.
Come here, boy.
Yeah.
Come here.
And then I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. Excellent. Now, the thing is, Alex, these trees can live for over 2,000 years.
Oh, wow.
So,
Really buried the lead.
yeah, I know. Well, I want everyone to be excited.
Okay.
You see bristlecone, you know that's coming. You know it's got to come.
Sure. I wasn't sure because I looked it up and I thought that I saw that these are less long-lived than their Great Basin cousins.
Yes, by half.
Oh, okay.
And by half, I mean 2,435 years.
Sure. That is still very impressive.
That is still very long.
Yeah.
So yes, the ancient ones, the intermountain bristlecone pines,
Yeah.
the Great Basin, those ones can grow and have been recorded over 5,000 years.
Holy shit.
So these trees live for a really long time.
Well, for reference
Yeah.
or like context, I guess, scale maybe. What is like a really old, long-lived Douglas fir?
800 years. That's some of the oldest, biggest
Wow.
Douglas fir.
Okay.
And they're huge. But this is on par with giant sequoias and redwoods that get to be like 30 feet in diameter kind
Totally.
of thing. Those are 2,000 years or more old.
But I'm assuming these don't get to be that big.
Correct. They don't get to be near that big.
Living that lean life.
Yeah. So another bit of context is that the Methuselah tree, that's the big ancient bristlecone from the Great Basin, from the White Mountains and things.
Yeah.
That one was measured at 4,855 years in 2023.
Wow.
Which would be 200 years older than the first pyramid built by King Djoser's architect Imhotep.
That's incredible.
Yes. So that's
Damn.
wild. So if you live for 2,500 years,
Yeah.
you are not going to maintain your perfect, beautiful form growing straight up.
Sure.
Like the coast redwoods, like the giant sequoias, they do, for all intents and purposes, they're one big single stem. They have nice cush habitats.
That's the thing, right? Like they have nothing to worry about.
Exactly.
So they can keep growing big and straight.
Precisely.
Yeah.
So when you're growing at the tippy top
privilege.
of a mountain, you're getting blasted by all these things. You don't have quite enough water and all these other different things that come into this habitat.
Yeah.
They essentially create these really contorted forms. So we've talked lots about crummelts. Do you remember this?
Whoa. It's a German word that means. Nope, I'm thinking of Umwelt. I don't remember Krummel's.
Okay. Crummelts is.
It sounds like a brand of like bad cookies.
You think it's you think that's
know?
bad cookies?
You guys want? My grandma only has Krummelts. Sorry,
Oh, come on.
these dry little shortbread things.
Yeah, you eat them, they break your teeth a
Yeah.
little bit. Yeah. Well, it is a stunted and wind-blown tree form. In fact, let me just
Okay.
do this real fast. Translation to English. Beep boop bop boop boop bop beep beep boop boop.
Wow.
It means crooked wood.
Literally?
Yeah.
Wow, crooked
Yeah.
wood.
So
Yeah.
it's a perfectly apt name.
A bit Krummelts myself, Casey.
Yeah, well, you are. I know. We've seen it. We know. We get it.
Where?
Hold
When?
on. I got to call HR. This is really uncomfortable.
You taking photos of me without my knowing?
Oh, you knew. So the what that means is it's essentially a tree that grows like near the ground. Like it doesn't actually grow up to create a tree-like form. It like stays as this weird, tiny, contorted thing growing between rocks. And if it grows a little too high, it gets sheared off because the winds are too extreme, you know, on this little ridge or something like that.
Interesting. It's like a tree shaped by nature.
Yes, to essentially all trees. Yeah, very true. But this one is writ large.
You do understand what I'm saying.
I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
And this, they stay really small. Like they are essentially these clumpy, shrubby looking things on the ground. Now that's one extreme. But the other kind of middle ground is that they grow up and then the top dies. Then this branch dies. Then they regrow. Then that dies again. Then this section grows. Then that dies again. Then the top continues to grow. Then it gets a couple hundred years of really nice growth. Gets really big. Then this huge storm comes through. Then it destroys this. Then that happens. So you create this form that looks like a giant dead snag with all these huge pokey bits coming out that grew up, lived for a couple hundred years, then died.
Yeah.
Then another part regrew from somewhere else, and then it just repeats that pattern over and over.
You see, every tree tells a story.
Tell me more, Alex.
That's all I got to say about it.
Okay, well, and that's it.
That is cool, though. I like when trees are like that, where you're like, you look at it and you're like, you've been through some shit.
Yes.
Over the last 2,500 years.
Over the last 2,500 years. What could have happened to you? What are you complaining about?
That's so cool.
Yeah. Could you imagine like the family reunion of these bristlecone pines?
Oh, wow.
The one in the Cascades is like, oh, yeah, I'm like 1,000 years old. You guys, all of my friends are dead.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, are they? Oh, yeah? Well, I've lived for twice as long as you. And then this old crotchety Intermountain bristlecone pine comes over, doesn't even speak the same language.
It's so Egypt.
Old. Yeah, exactly. So that is like the context between these three species are crazy.
It's wild.
So this one lives and does the same thing. So apparently all you need is a couple hundred years at this high elevation to really look like a crazy mad scientist of a tree.
And you said that like not exactly half and half, but some of them grow that Crummelt's form. And then some grow more upright and more successfully.
Well, it's more of their elevation and how extreme the habitat is.
I see.
So I was meaning in terms of like on one side of the spectrum, they grow straight up. In fact, I've seen them at, I think it's like, it's one of the tallest passes driving through Colorado. And they're just right there growing like forest trees. They look like lodgepole pine for all intents and purposes.
Okay, wow.
And they're just straight up normal growing trees. And they're living their lives. Fire come through and they regrow like.
Because it's not too bad, the conditions.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. I mean, we can build a road and you can drive over it, right?
Yeah.
So in that case, they're just growing like normal trees. Then as you go up the elevation and you get to more extreme habitats, then they start to develop these really weird, crazy forms because they're battered by things more often. Then once you get to the highest tippy top, the highest point they can possibly grow, they don't get any taller than a couple feet above ground and they grow like these weird crummelts.
Wild. Okay.
Yeah. Isn't that just amazing?
I've got a better visual or maybe like a way of thinking about crummelts.
Okay.
Like river stones.
Okay. Yeah.
Like they all look different. And some of them look wildly different, but it's like, you know, if you sit there for 400 years with a thing of water brushing over your left shoulder
24/7,
you're gonna have a fucked up back.
Yes, yeah, totally. It's gonna be way like you're just going to develop some amount of character.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, that is
put some character in that tree.
Exactly. Give me a couple million years. So, of course, the last thing we got to talk about is the cones of this tree.
Oh yeah, shit.
Yeah, I guess I could note that they have bark. When it starts off young, it looks like bark. As it gets older, it becomes more intense. But I guess, you know, I should note that the thing with the bark is that it's very utility bark at the beginning. Then as it gets older, it develops a little more flakes. And it's really the pattern of the bark and the living tissue on the old stems that really create the effect. But we're going to talk about that in a second.
Oh.
Hold your horses, Alex.
Okay.
So we're going to talk about the cone. The cone is the classic bristlecone pine cone.
It's in the name, baby.
It's in the name. They only get maybe about 4 or 5 inches long, about 2 or 3 times the needle length in most cases. And of course, they have their little teeny tiny bristles on the tip of their umbo on the apophysis of the scale.
Casey's making the face that I would call a funky frog.
A funky frog.
You just looked like a jazz playing frog for a second.
Okay,
and
cool.
Everybody now can picture it. That's perfect.
I was going for pedantic scientist, but thank you.
Oh.
I think those can be the same thing.
Sure. At his day job is science.
Yeah, okay,
And
that's
he puts
right.
on a hat and glasses and goes to play jazz. So the bristles themselves, would you consider them weaponry?
No,
is this an armed umbo?
Technically they are armed umbos because they do have those little bristles, those little spines on them.
It can be a dull blade and it's still armed?
Yes. Yeah. But these are mostly, it's not that they're dull, they're just really, really thin. They're almost like they're just bristles. So if you just like put your hand on it, it's not really going to hurt. They'll break off pretty quickly.
Okay.
They'll poke you, but you can just be like, and they'll go away.
Is it going to make like a sound when you run your hand over it?
No, not
that stiff?
really.
Okay.
No, I don't think they're that stiff. I think they're just a little too weak for that. But that's a very good description of it's a very good thing to ask.
Just trying to dial in the vibe here.
I think it's important to do that. The other thing about these cones is that they have a very like cylindrical shape to them.
I noticed this.
Yeah. Okay, you did.
I thought they would be fatter and like thicker.
Yeah. Why? Did it have any particular reason?
I don't know.
Okay,
is maybe the Great Basin one a little different?
No, these both are very, very similar. In fact, they used to think these were the same species.
I imagine something more ponderosa-esque.
Oh, okay, yeah. So more like ovate, more egg-shaped overall.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. These really are not that. They have a very uniform appearance as they pop out of the tree. They don't really bend one way. They come out very perpendicular to the stem. So their spiral pattern is very uniform around the entire thing.
Interesting.
And they come out as a cylinder and then taper pretty quickly to a small point.
Yeah.
And they have a very uniform amount of space between all of their scales. So they look very regularly designed.
I guess what I'm feeling is a little bit of disappointment.
Yeah, you seem let down.
Like I would expect a more interesting cone out of a tree that's been around for 2,000 years. You know?
I hear you.
You know what I mean?
I do. I gotcha. Yeah, but sometimes trees can't have it all, Alex.
Yeah, I guess it's already impressive that you live so long and you look beautiful. I love your morphology.
I love your morphology. Did you do that yourself?
Give me a spin, girl.
Wow.
But, the cones are just kind of pine cones?
They are just kind of pine cones. Yes. Like 100%, that is the perfect way to describe them.
Yeah, bummer.
Now, here's where I think I can pull you back in and get you back on the side of this is a sweet tree.
Call me in.
This is a tree that does something very unique. And not only does it do something unique, it does something that is unique in one of the most spectacular ways.
Wow.
And this is called sectored architecture.
Sectored architecture.
Yes. Have you heard about this before?
Have you noticed every time you give me a new term, you give me a nice little pause because you know that I'm going to repeat it slowly.
And I want you to. I encourage this.
Sectored architecture. I don't know what this is.
Yeah.
But if I had to guess, it's some sort of like, not compartmentalization, but like the tree has like zones that it like gives its energy to. Like, send this to zone A. This is a zone B molecule.
I see. All right. Yeah. I like this idea.
So if one part dies, it can easily like shut all the blast doors.
Yes, exactly. Check your sectors. Okay. Close that one off.
Yeah, zone 1 is totally gone. It's time for a new zone 1.1.
Yes. Well, you're not wrong.
Okay.
I can't go so far as to say, and you're right.
Never.
So here's the thing about sectored architecture. Essentially, what it means is that the roots feed and are connected to the cambium tissue directly above them. And that is directly connected above it to the branches and leaves from a particular section of the tree.
Okay, like columns.
Exactly.
Okay.
So if you are you look at a perfect column of a tree, let's say we're going to split it into 10 sectors.
Yeah.
So each one of those sectors is connected to its very own or a combination of roots. Where actually the way that I would think about it is a bunch of schools. So when I was in school, we had elementary schools, and those elementary schools, when I was in elementary school and up to 7th grade, they went to different middle schools. So you had a certain amount of elementary schools, then those kids were then distributed not quite randomly, but there was a different distribution to the middle schools. Then
Depending on how many what the student body was.
Exactly. Or like more where they lived. So it's all about okay, let's draw a circle around this neighborhood. They go to this elementary school. Let's draw a circle around this neighborhood. They go to that elementary school.
Okay.
So let's then draw a circle around these middle schools and they will go to this high school. When I was in 7th grade, the little school district that I went to, they did not have that kind of direct system where it went from all these elementary schools to this middle school to this high school. They said, great, now we're going to split you again from middle school to different high schools.
Interesting.
Based all on geography. So essentially, you would go kind of cross over for a second, and then in high school, you could potentially split off again and go to something else.
Sure.
Most trees work in that first way where they have all their resources go up into the cambium, then that cambium kind of intersperses and then it goes to the whole canopy.
It's like a common pool.
Yes.
Okay.
So if you lose some amount of bark on one side, that could affect the entire tree.
Yeah.
Whereas sectored architecture, per this metaphor, is that direct feeder system where you have all these elementary schools, or more like one elementary school goes to one middle school, goes to one high school. So high school is the canopy, middle school is the trunks and the branches, the elementary school is the roots.
Interesting.
So if one elementary school loses all of its kids, everyone moves out, everyone who comes in there becomes a retirement community, everyone's like, well, we don't have any kids, that elementary school closes, then following would be the next middle school and then the high school. So essentially, if the roots die over here, this section, one column, one individual sector of the trunk, the cambium, will also die, and then so will the branches above it.
Wild.
Or vice versa. If a branch gets broken off, then that top dies. The cambium layer connecting it down to the stem, down to the roots, will also die because it's not getting the food that it needs. So the roots on that direct feeder system end up dying.
Wild. So if you're a root on one of these trees, you are born and you go to work.
Yep.
And they're like, you're in charge. See up there, that strip of cambium.
Right there.
And then those leaves up there. This is where you'll be until we die.
That's what you have to do.
Okay. And so a root over on sector A will never be in charge of cambium at sector D.
Yes.
Wild.
Correct.
Okay. Well, I have some questions, I guess.
Okay.
Why?
Here's why. Because these trees growing up at these crazy high elevations with these really intense things, they get sand blows really hard. So just huge winds come through and you get this literal sand blast effect sometimes.
Sure.
Not always, but it's there. The other thing is ice crystals, where if you're growing up above the snow, big snow just came, and then bright sun comes out, and it kind of freezes the top of the snow.
Sure.
Then a huge blast of wind comes through. Then you're getting all these ice crystals that are just absolutely hammering the side of your trunk.
Yeah.
That side of the trunk may die because maybe it gets too cold. Maybe it literally just gets etched away.
At that elevation and those wind speeds, it might as well be like knives flying at you.
Exactly. Yeah.
Same with sand. Sand is almost literally glass.
Right. It is. Exactly. So it is super corrosive in terms of just physically ripping and destroying the cells.
Sure.
So it kills off often certain sides of the tree. So if this tree mixed all of its resources together and then put it all out to the canopy, as one side dies, you could lose access to all these other things. It affects a greater proportion of the tree.
It wouldn't last a day.
Exactly.
Interesting.
So if you are trying to last 2,000 years, then you're better off to develop this compartmented system, like exactly what you're talking about, where sector A is over here on the windward side. Sector A grows up, it's kicking it, it's lasting for a couple hundred years, then some crazy thing happens and it just kills off sector A. Instead of sector B and sector 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever, sector K on the other side, instead of those sectors being like, we were depending on you, now we're disconnected, now they're at risk of dying.
They don't even notice.
They just say, later sector A, it was great to have you, peace.
So what happens to the space in the trunk of that sector A used to occupy?
Great question.
DMZ?
It just becomes a DMZ. It becomes a debarked zone. DBC. Dang it. DBZ.
DBZ?
Man.
Oh, debarked.
Debarked zone.
Would you like to try again?
Yeah, let's try again.
And I don't. Do you want me to edit all this out?
You need to be the choice maker on this. I'm not the producer here.
I want to keep all this in.
Oh, okay.
That's how the sausage is made.
All right. Throw it up, Alex. Throw it up. Throw it to me.
Throw it up. So if sector, so it becomes a DMZ?
No, Alex. It becomes a DBZ.
Oh,
Drop that mic. A debarked zone.
Oh, right. I should have waited for that part to react.
Man, we suck at this. Yeah, and that was time of death.
You know, we're going to have to do this live next Friday.
Oh, geez, that sounds horrible. Oh, did we tell you guys that? So, yes, essentially, what happens is that sector dies and the bark, flies away, it gets decayed, whatever. But the wood itself is highly decay resistant.
Okay.
It's decay resistant just in and of itself, but it's also growing in a place that's not really good for insects and fire and decay, because they're growing up at such a place where they're usually a little bit wider spaced. There's not a lot of debris on the ground, so fires can't just go straight through.
Yeah, so it's just naked for a little while.
Exactly. Well, just that one section.
Yeah.
That one sector.
Okay.
So that one sector creates usually some beautiful colored wood where like lichen grows on it. Usually it's something between a very dark bright orange and a very dark black color where like some lichen or some small amount of decay gets in there, but most of the time it just kind of looks like it's sand blasted and sun blasted. So it's just this wood, straight up wood that's been sitting in the sun, in the snow for thousands of years.
And it doesn't regrow anything?
The wood does not, but sectors K and B do what is famous for trees, which is regrow their bark and start to compartmentalize over the wound. Because for the tree, this is a longitudinal wound.
Yeah.
So it does what trees do. And the way I always tell people and try to show this is put your two hands up flat, right in front of your face. So you're kind of like, you're basically about to put your two middle fingers together, and then pull those apart. Your fingers are basically the living cambium. Then every year, you kind of bend your fingers ever so slightly and push your fingers together, push your whole hands together. So over time, you end up creating these ram's horns effect where you grow, the cambium grows out, but then on that edge, right on the edge of that wound, it also compartmentalizes and grows callus wood. So it grows up and it grows out towards each other, covering over that little strip of wound.
Okay.
So you end up creating bark that constantly grows up and out, almost like the world's slowest moving wave that crashes into each other.
Interesting.
And it's hard to describe, but look up wood ram's horn or ram's horn compartmentalization, something like that. You'll find some pictures on the internet of what this looks like.
Or you could put your hands like your Hannibal Lecter opening somebody's skull.
Okay, yes.
To eat their brains.
Now that you say that, that is also a good option.
Thanks.
Really well described, Alex.
Well, here's my next question, Casey, about this sectored architecture.
Yes.
How, Hannibal?
Yeah.
Mr. Lecter, how wide? So if let's say the diameter, let's say the circumference of this tree stem is 15 feet.
Okay.
And how many
huge tree.
Okay. Maybe let's say it's 10. 8.
Okay. Can we
5.
choose 3?
3 feet.
Let's just use 3 feet.
I got there. And how many sections, how many slices of pizza are how thick are the parts?
That's great. There is no definition of that. It's not necessarily defined.
Like some might be bigger, like thicker than others.
Yeah.
Okay. And there's no, do they go straight up?
No.
They kind of curve and do weird stuff?
They usually spiral around.
That's fucking awesome.
It is really interesting.
Like a double helix down the tree.
Yes, precisely.
Cool.
Now, the thing is, so if you have this 3-foot tree, this 3-foot circumference, so it's about a foot in diameter, then if the windward side gets hit by the wind, that side dies. Then the branch above it will also die. The roots below, the branch above will die. Everything
as above, so below. Wait, as below, so above.
As below, so above.
What is that saying? As above, so below. Something about heaven and God.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I'm not sure.
As is below, so below.
We'll think about it.
Go ahead.
So this whole section dies. The other two sections, or all the rest of the section, continues to live. But as these trees grow, they're in also these really intense windy places, so they end up moving around a lot, and they develop this spiral grain. And that spiral grain pattern then continues to live during these strange sections of growth. So you can have one strip of bark, and I mean every single 95% of the stem dies except for one strip, that last 5%. That last 5% still connected to viable roots, still connected up above to viable green foliage.
Tree's alive.
That tree is technically still alive, and it can spiral up and around and then back out to this little splash of foliage on this one branch. And sometimes you have to say, how is that thing alive? And you just follow the living bark down and around the tree until it goes into the ground, and you're like, there it is. That's the snaking connection.
That's fucking crazy.
Now, this is why we're doing this tree as the first one for our spooky month, is that this is essentially the living dead. This is how I imagine it. Because let's have a little scenario here. Let's say we're working with a 3-foot diameter tree. So the circumference is probably closer to 9 or 10 feet.
Okay.
It is growing up. It has been doing this for a couple hundred years. A giant storm comes through and it kills off a section of it. That section dies. The wood is exposed. It's just sitting there. It looks nice. But the tree, every single year of its life, will try to compartmentalize and grow over the top of that wound. It'll grow new bark from the living bark next to it. Then, over the next several hundred years, this happens again on a different side. Then there's a drought that kills this part over here. That section dies. Then there's a small section that resprouts a new little branch, and it starts to rebuild the canopy on this other side. Then you repeat this over and over. Branch dies here, bark dies there. Some erosion took away the roots, took away the soil from the roots over here. So now those roots have died. So this section of the tree dies over here.
And there's a finite number of sections.
There is, but it's always regrowing those sections.
It's regrowing the section.
Yes. So remember,
bring it back to life.
Remember, I'm telling you though that all that living cambium continues to compartmentalize over the wounds.
Right.
It does it everywhere, every year, all the time. So every single bit of living cambium continues to regrow that section of the tree.
Whoa.
So if 95% of a perfectly circular stem, or I guess a cylindrical stem dies, you just have 5%. If that 5% is given enough time, it will regrow and put a whole new layer of wood around the old stem. It will take it thousands of years to do it, but it will, over time, completely compartmentalize over that wound.
Holy shit.
So as all those new layers are growing and compartmentalizing, they're also getting battered and beaten and destroyed over other places. So you have a tree that is constantly looking like it's dead, but is constantly rebuilding itself to stay alive, using its technique of sectored architecture to constantly regrow and stay alive, while essentially it's getting every single part of it destroyed and killed, and then it's just regrowing slowly but surely.
This sounds like a hellish existence.
It totally does, doesn't it?
Damn.
And then you look at these trees and you're like, oh my God, this has been doing this for 2,500 years?
Really had to fight to get here.
It had to fight to get there. Well, no, it has to fight to stay there. It's like the world is trying to scrape it from existence, and it's just like, no, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not into that.
And he goes, sure, you can kill me. Go ahead and chop off my arm. Ha! I've got another one over here.
Exactly. And then I'm going to regrow 4 more arms. So if you cut off that one, I'm okay.
I like this idea.
This is sectored architecture.
That's crazy.
This is living dead. This is a tree that should, in every other situation, be dead. But it says, no, I'm going to continue to live.
Living dead, huh? Well, Casey, as we go to the break, I'm going to say a 10-second clip of my new song, Living Dead, off my forthcoming LP1, my new record.
What?
Just a little something.
Wait a second, Alex. Hold on.
What?
You're saying you have a song called Living Dead?
Of course I do.
Well, play the whole thing.
No, because it's not released technically.
Oh, I see.
But I just wanted to give a little teaser.
So you're saying in order to get the whole thing, we have to I have to go buy an album.
To buy a bootlegged CD from one of my shows.
Yes.
Or on my Bandcamp.
I love this. Could you tell everyone that this is your scheme?
Sure. Well, I don't want to put I've become so disgusted with streaming services and as like commercially and artistically. And I don't want to put my music on a streaming service. I just want to put it on Bandcamp, which is like not a streaming service, but it's like a website where you can stream the music. And I also want to bootleg CDs.
Your own CDs.
My own CDs.
That's what I love.
Burn them at home and bring them to shows.
Yeah, I think that's so street, baby.
I know. I think it'll be really cool.
Yeah, I love that. All right, so I appreciate this. I agree. You should play exactly the right amount of Living Dead for us.
Okay. And then we'll go to a quick break. And when we get back, we're going to give this tree a rating. We'll be right back with Completely Arbortrary. Welcome back. Casey and I both peed.
What?
And
Alex,
it's now time to give a rating to the Bristlecone pine.
You can't just do that.
Rocky Mountain thereof.
Okay, good one, man.
Casey, here's how it works.
Geez.
We're going to give some final thoughts on this tree, then give it a rating of 0 to 10 golden cones of honor. As our resident expert, will begin with you.
Thank you. I give this tree 9.2.
All right.
Next question.
I give it a 9.19.
You did it. We did it. Wow,
Yeah.
Look at that. All right. Well, that's the end of the show. Thanks, guys, for joining us. Okay, let me give you some context here.
You go ahead and explain yourself while I grab the melodica.
You better. Oh, the melodica's coming back. I love an old, ancient, wily tree.
Yeah.
You know this. You may recall I gave the ancient bristlecone pine, the longeva, Pinus longeva, I gave that a 10 out of 10.
Okay.
Because how could you not?
I do remember that, yeah.
This tree is like, it's on par with that.
Wow.
It is definitely on par. And I love, just like the white bark pine and like some limber pines, like these trees that grow at the highest elevations, the most extreme habitats, and then create some of the most charismatic and beautiful forms. You guys got to look these trees up. They create this mosaic of living bark, green living trees, branches, and these dead old stems that are just sitting there, have not decayed more than a millimeter in hundreds of years. They grow an inch in a century. Like these are like some of the most beautiful sculptures in the world. And there are other trees that do this, do not get me wrong. But these in particular are the trees we're covering now, and they get a 9.2. Why do they not get a 10 out of 10? They don't live for 5,000 years.
Sure.
Sorry. Not my problem.
So I see. Okay. If a tree that grows, what's the math here? I don't want to get into it.
Yeah.
9.2.
Yeah.
This abstract math.
There's some the equation to come up with, minus 0.8 because it doesn't live twice as long. I don't know exactly how we get there, but all right.
Not a bad grade. I mean, a score. A really good score, in fact.
I think they're such beautiful trees. And when I first ran across one, I was so excited because I thought you'd have to like get out, go hike up to somewhere. But it's literally, I think I like was driving and I was like, oh my God, they're right there. And I just pulled over and was like, look at this. It's still the background on my computer.
How about that? Why didn't you show me?
Oh, it's a different computer.
Oh.
That's my home computer. It's at my home computer home screen. So like it comes up when you move the mouse kind of thing.
I see.
Yeah, this one is...
Casey even gestured to his laptop.
I did. And I it was a lie.
That's okay, Casey.
I'm sorry.
Your score has been disqualified.
Oh no. I've been worried about this the whole time.
And we're going to do a drug test.
Oh shit.
So I like this tree. This whole this whole sectioned architecture.
Sectored architecture. Which I think sectioned is also okay.
Sure. I love this idea. I think it's so cool. And it's very smart. It's smart evolution for which I know is a bit of a moxymoron.
A moxymoron?
I misspoke.
I do like moxymoron.
This moron's got moxie. I like him. But I like the sectored architecture, and the look of the tree is gorgeous, and the cones are fine.
See, I really like those cones.
They look nice.
Okay.
You know what I really like is the needles.
Yes, a little Christmassy, Christmassy flavor to them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, what did I give this? 9.19.
Yes.
I think I went 0.1 beneath you. 0.01.
Yes, you went 100th beneath me
Because you have seen and experienced them. I have not. I wouldn't feel right.
I see.
Meeting you there.
I understand.
But that's
very big of you.
That's my rating. Thanks.
Yeah, actually, just right before we go, I want to give a quick shout out to Tana Silverland, who asked us a question. Said, "Hey, Alex and Casey,
Hi.
Love your podcast." And said it. She said she's a middle-aged woman, so it took her a little bit to get used to our hip attitudes.
Oh,
but now she's totally into it.
Nice.
But Tana specifically said, I loved your talk about the big berry manzanita and how it grows with the weird bark patterns that some bark dies, then it keeps growing.
Oh, yeah.
So these use sectored architecture as well, but instead of being at high elevation, they are at low elevation, and so they deal with little fires and really hot drought weather.
Yeah.
So she asked about this, and I said, actually, yes, this is called sectored architecture, and I don't know that I actually told her that we are going to cover this here pretty soon. So,
wow.
All that to say, there you go.
Tana?
Thank you. This is Tana. So, yeah, thanks, Tana, for asking the question. And here we are.
Nice. Thanks, Tana. And I just got to say, no one has ever called me hip.
What?
So I really appreciate it, Tana. I feel very hip indeed.
Yeah, you sure are.
Casey, because we both gave this tree a 9.0 or higher, it is officially inducted into the Golden Arboretum of Honor.
Oh, I love this.
And at the induction ceremony, I play the Arboretum of Honor song. Sorry to say it so sarcastically.
Yeah, like, what are you talking about? This is it.
Now, I played on the melodica, which,
Yes,
if you don't know, is it's kind of part keyboard, part harmonica. It's a
Harmonica,
harmonica that you can make more melodies on because it has keys.
Yes.
Now, Casey, to your right, I have placed a triangle.
Oh, you did.
I'm not talking about the geometric shape here.
I
I'm talking about the
completely missed
musical
that.
instrument.
You literally walked in front of me and set it down, and
Yeah.
I didn't even notice.
Like Christmas morning.
Wow.
Santa came and went. You've got a triangle, and I'm not going to give you any direction other than just like use your heart to play along with this song.
I am so happy about this.
1, 2, 3, 4. Congratulations, Rocky Mountain Bristlecone Pine. You really did it.
Oh,
That was a beautiful performance, Casey.
Thank you. Beautiful yourself. My God, I had no idea that this was my calling.
You're a born triangleist.
Thank you. Thank you.
Casey, it's time for a completely arbitrary AMA. If you want to ask us a question on the podcast, become a Treemium member at arbitrarypod.supercast.com. We have a couple different tiers and payment options. You get a bunch of stuff in return, including the Cone Club stickers, but you also get access to the AMA, Ask Me Anything. And this week we have an ask from Joan.
Hello, Joan.
Hi, Joan. Hi, Casey and Alex, says Joan. I've noticed the last few weeks, as we slowly move into the autumn in Iowa, there are some trees that have been changing color in a very splotchy pattern.
Okay.
For example, one particular part of the tree, a lower spot facing the street, will be completely changed, while the rest stays green for weeks. But then eventually it all changes colors. Is there a reason why this happens? Also, Alex, you should look into submitting your info to perform at the Mile of Music Festival in Appleton, Wisconsin.
What?
Sure. And
Wait, hold on.
And then Joan included a link to submit my music to this thing.
Bro, absolutely. Thanks, Joan. That's a great idea.
Love to play Mile of Music.
Honestly, Alex, I think you would rock it in Wisconsin.
You think I would be good in Wisconsin?
I think so. I think you have the demeanor of upper Midwest.
That means a lot to me. I love Midwesterners.
Yeah.
You know, they say that West Coasters are nice but not kind.
Oh, okay.
East Coasters are kind but not nice. And Midwesterners are both.
Interesting.
Or neither. Depends on who
Or
you talk
neither.
to.
Yeah, depending on how north or south you are. Interesting.
Yeah.
I love that idea. Well, okay, first off, I have not heard that.
Yeah, it's a little saying.
There you go. Well, I think you would love it. And I have had fabulous times in Wisconsin. I went last year for the Arborist Association's event, and it was just a blast.
Should I go to Milwaukee?
I have friends in Milwaukee, and they speak very highly of it.
I could maybe meet the Red Letter Media guys.
I actually think that you would be a Madison kind of guy.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm going to look into it, Casey.
Well, you're hip now, so I think that's the right move.
Thank you. Is Madison like the Austin of Wisconsin?
Yeah, I'd say so. It's college town.
Cool.
Yeah, they're on the front line.
Great. Mm-hmm. Well, Casey, what do you think about the splotchy color changing pattern? And I thought this was interesting that the part that is changing color is low facing the street.
Yes, that's actually extremely important.
Okay.
Here. So generally speaking, this comes up every year because, of course, fall color. It's a huge thing about trees. Everyone wants to know. So fall color is essentially the tree doing two things at once. One, it is chock full of sugars, and it is taking those sugars and slowing down its creation of different pigments. So you see different pigments. So all these things kind of come together in that as the days start to get shorter, the weather gets cooler, the trees start to make a smaller amount of chlorophyll, which it's making and deconstructing and remaking all year long.
Chlorophyll is what makes trees green?
Exactly.
Leaves
It is precisely, yeah. It is the pigment that is green that is inside all of the chloroplasts.
Okay.
So that pigment, as it starts to kind of get produced less and less, you start to see other colors become more prominent that are there. That's the red and the oranges, the anthocyanins and the carotenoids, these kind of different things. And those often are always there. Some of them are produced more in the fall, and some of them are just, like I said, just happen to be there still. So when you get rid of the green, other things now start to be more obvious.
Okay. So it's not changing colors, it's just like removing some colors and other ones come to light.
Exactly. Yeah, that's almost precisely the right way to imagine it.
Cool.
So what affects this? It is affected by water. It's affected by heat. It's affected by the time of day and the process that the tree is going through, and it's shutting itself down and kind of taking in all of its resources and holding them in the stem, the roots, and all the branches so that next year it can pop everything back out.
Oh, you're talking like the triggers that start the autumn transition.
Exactly,
okay.
yeah. And you said triggers and you snapped your fingers, but it's not quite that. It's a very slow process where the tree is like, okay, it's getting cool. It's also the daytime is waning, so the nights are getting longer. So remember, trees can see night and day.
Sure.
Well, they can see one or the other. It doesn't really matter which one you want to choose. So as the trees start to pick up these cues, they start to make these processes happen. They start to work a little bit slower, so they end up getting often a buildup of sugars in the leaf. And if it is a hotter day, or if there's more hot days and there is less water in the ground, then you tend to get more vibrant colors. So the road side of this tree is probably turning a little bit more because it's probably way hotter.
Oh.
Because the sun is going to hit the pavement and keep it hotter on the pavement side of the tree for longer than on the other side, which ostensibly has less pavement.
It surprises me that one section of the tree can do that without the rest of the tree like seeing the signals and being like, oh, I guess it's time to go.
Well, they're all getting the same signals, but they're getting different amounts of the signal.
Okay.
So just like the sectored architecture, all trees are themselves compartmentalized organisms. Each leaf works on its own. Each leaf works with the twig on its own. Each twig works on its own. So everything is basically feed yourself, and if you can't feed yourself, then you're going to die, and that's how we figure out which things are doing better or worse.
Okay.
So On the roadside, it's hotter and drier. Generally speaking. So those individual leaves, the cues they are picking up is, oh, it's hot. It is dry. So I am actually going to be moving or creating and going through this process at a different rate than the other side, which it's just ever so slightly cooler. So those leaves are like, oh, I'm still picking up the same signals of light and day, but my signal for heat is less. So I'm still doing the process kind of as normal. I haven't moved quite so far down the fall color yet.
Pause.
Yeah.
I am confused about something.
Okay.
If it's hotter and drier, isn't that more of like a summer feeling and not like an autumn feeling?
Well, remember, they're also paying attention to the daylight. So the trees are like, it's definitely time to go dormant.
Yeah.
But when it's hotter and drier, they end up basically moving that more forward and they stop producing chlorophyll more. So it's the combination of the weather and the temperature and the time of day.
Okay.
All those things come together.
Okay.
So they are taking their cues saying, okay, it's really hot and I'm shutting down. I haven't had a lot of water, so I'm going to start pushing this process forward even faster.
Oh, let's fast track our fall transition.
Exactly, because I'm probably, honestly, a little bit more stressed. I have less water overall, so I'm just going to stop making chlorophyll altogether, and I'm just going to start shutting down quick.
Because if it gets too hot and dry over there, it'll lose resources that it needs for winter.
Exactly. Essentially, it dies rather than going dormant.
Cool.
So that's the senescent period, and senescence, generally speaking. So that leaf is going through the process of shutting down, and there's a physical place called the abscission zone between the leaf petiole and where it connects to the stem. And that zone will close up more quickly and literally compartmentalize itself off, and that leaf will die and fall earlier.
Okay.
So the tree is essentially working at different rates based on different things. And the big thing that's the same is the light, the time of day, I shouldn't say time of day, but the length of the day. That is the thing that's constant on all sides of the tree. They all are saying, okay, this has been consistently going across the entire summertime. I'm measuring. I know how long all the days are. I know that I'm supposed to be starting this process. Usually having cool nights, generally speaking, that's going to be something that a tree growing in a forest or an open green field, that's going to be the same on all sides. But with pavement and more of this reflective heat on one side versus not on the other side, those cues are just ever so slightly different.
Interesting.
You know, it's like put your hand on a burner over here and put it in the freezer over here.
Yeah.
Your body's going to be reacting differently to those two different stimuli.
Well, I think it actually balances each other out.
That is true. So actually it's just going to be lukewarm on all sides.
Yeah, if you need to grab a hot pan, just put your hand in the freezer.
Yeah, you're going to be fine.
Thank you so much, Joan, for your question. That's very interesting. And like I said, if you have a question for us, arbortrarypod.supercast.com. That's ARBORTRARY pod.supercast.com to support the podcast, or go to arbortrarypod.com and click that giant annoying banner at the top that says join the Cone Club.
Come to the club.
And don't forget, we are having a blowout sale. That sounds like diarrhea. I don't want to go with blowout sale.
No, I like it. Let's do it. All right, here's the announcement.
Yeah, I've got an announcement for you.
Oh, wow. Man, we just went straight South Park.
You ever seen that interview with Leslie Nielsen of Naked Gun fame?
Yeah, I know the guy.
He's on, I think it's Conan, and he has like a fart machine that he brings with him.
No.
He's just playing with it the whole time.
Good for him.
It's so funny.
Oh, God, I love that guy.
We are having a blowout sale, 30% off everything.
That's right.
Let me repeat that.
Oh, yeah, because, hold on, I didn't hear that.
Because it's drastic.
That sounds crazy. So I must have heard that wrong.
No, you didn't. 30% off of every damn thing in our store.
Wow.
Use coupon code BLOWOUT.
Yes, go get that. So we're trying to get rid of those shirts. We got them, we love them, but you know what? We got new things on the horizon. We're going to get you.
Yeah, we have a lot of inventory that we just don't want anymore.
Yeah, it's time to get it on your back.
We're giving it to you for 30% off.
Remember, that also includes stickers.
Casey Clapp.
Alex Crowson.
I'll see you tomorrow at Powell's.
I'll see you all tomorrow.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Completely Arbortrary. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Completely Arbortrary is hosted by Casey Clapp and Alex Crowson.
Our music is by Aves and the Mini Vandals, and our artwork is by Jillian Barthold.
To support the podcast and get rewards in return, become a Treemium member at arbitrarypod.supercast.com.
Thanks for listening.